Hey, hey, hey. Hope everybody's doing good. Carl Bryan coming at you. Here with my boy, Kenya Pat. Kenya Pat, what's happening, man?
I'm going to tell you a quick story.
Okay,
Oh
let's go.
my. Well, I was using the bathroom last night. Let's just say I was sitting down,
Oh,
and a moth came in the window. It was like the size of a bat,
oh,
and
jeez.
I I have never run so quick out of a bathroom without my shorts on. I'm glad the window. I'm just glad the curtains were closed. I tell you, would have been a shock to the neighbors. There's this white guy running around the house, getting chased by a little butterfly, they think. Anyway,
You're exciting the ladies on the call here, Kenya Pat. What's going on here? Nobody was expecting that. Damn, well
no one was
done.
expecting that. This is the life and trials
Yeah.
of a dreamer, let's call it.
Is this in the new, are you in your new pad yet, or that's this weekend?
Tomorrow morning we're heading over.
Oh, boom.
Tomorrow morning, yeah, we got a little place, and it's yeah, we'll say it's got three bedrooms, little 3 bedroom, 4 bathroom apartment. So
Got a swimming pool on the roof, and you're living in luxury there, folks.
yeah, well, it's all relative, hey.
Yeah, pretty cool. Look pretty cool to me from what I've seen, man. Sign me up. Love it. Love it. Love it. Cool. But anywho, all right. So what do you think? Let's open up a couple folks. Hey, folks, the usual drill. This is a Q and A call. So you guys provide the Q, we provide the A. So if you have a question, just either raise your hand, or if you're on an Android or something and you can't, just plunk the question in the box. We'll read it out, and we will help you out. But anyways, with that being said,
Brian,
there he is, Brian Duckworth, hanging out in his Speedos at Bell's Beach in Australia. Speaking of Pat running around naked with bats chasing him, and Brian, top that. You heard Pat's story. What's yours? Come on, Brian. Don't be shy now that I put you on the spot. Are you there? Come on, you're unmuted. There he is. No, he's not. I can see you're going. You must be muted there, somebody or somehow, because you're open on this end. Let's try it. I'll try and mute you, and let's try it again. There we go. Brian, try again. Oh, shoot. That's right. Brian, we can't hear you. Plunk because I know you got a question. If you want to plunk it in the box there, we shall read it out. Not sure why we can't hear you.
Maybe you would open up someone else, Carl, make sure that anyone can hear us.
Yeah. Maybe it's just you and me. Let's go. Where are we here? Let's go. Bill Van Overbeck. There we go. Bill, are you there?
Bill Van Overbeck right here.
Hey, right. How's it going, Bill? What's happening?
Hey, so I can actually top the moth story.
Okay.
Cool.
A couple of times I've had a bat come down my chimney and fly around in my bedroom at about 2:30 a.m.
Oh yeah.
So that ends up being about a 2.5 hour drill of me running around, in my undies and with blankets or buckets or shovels and leather gloves, and my wife sleeps through most of it. I don't know how she manages to pull that off, but anyway. I actually do have a question.
Yeah, good.
So my question is this. So I'm a new guy. I just finished my second 100K training, and in that they were mentioning, since you only have that 45-minute interview, but really you've only got 30 to 35 minutes, they suggested that you're only going to hit 2 or 3 specific areas to find that savings, and they said you should try to target it more towards their specific industry and use those key areas. Is there a resource that kind of gives us an idea of what those areas might be for a particular industry?
That's good. I would send you to the strategy. Pat, I'd like to hear your answer, but I'd probably send you to the strategy guides It's no rock, feel comfortable, no rocket science involved. You know, you just kind of, what kind of business are you helping, right? Just digest it and just walk. What happens before they do business with this guy? What happens while they do business with this guy or gal? What happens afterwards? You know, kind of just walk yourself through the dynamics of the relationship, right?
Okay.
So, and the strategy guides, I think, are going to give you a well-rounded kind of step-by-step guide as to how to do it. Pat, what would you say?
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'd look at this if like, let me share my screen because I had paused there. There we go. Can you see my screen there? See my mouse moving around? Okay.
Yeah.
So where I'm in the Jumpstart 12, we got 12 areas down the side, and you can master these. This is a great place to start to master the software. As you get going, you're going to branch out a little bit, and I like to use the Jumpstart 40, which is really the 27 areas all in a little Jumpstart method. You got 5 questions each. And so as you come in the Jumpstart 40, you can toggle this open all, and you can see all these different areas down the side that you can use. Now, what I would do is before I go and meet with a client, let's say they are a hair salon, let's pick something easy. I would think, okay, so what 3 to 5 areas, 6, 7 areas should I focus on first of all to find a breakthrough? So you know, in here, more conversions, you got sales team. It's like, okay, they're not going to have a sales team. You can just forget that. But things like market dominating position, leads, maybe referral systems, digital marketing. They might not do direct mail. They might advertise, but a compelling offer would be awesome. Things like that. So I'd go through and the day before you meet them, go through, think through some ideas, think through some examples, do a little research, and you come in with some knowledge about their industry. You know, I know when Holly's doing a role play with some of the coaches, maybe she's role playing as a chiropractor, and these coaches are coming in and say, well, Holly, I know in Kelowna that there's actually 84 chiropractors. She's like, man, I never knew that. And so, they've done some research ahead of time. And that's really impressive to a client. So you've got to do your research. You can't walk in and say, hey, tell me about your business. Like, you should already know about their business.
Right. Okay.
Right. So yeah, that's how I do it. That's how to run it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I just, everything else about this, you guys seem to have oh yeah, we already thought of that and it's here, so I just thought this might be another one of those things where you guys are already out in front of it. So.
Well, we are planning it. No, we are planning it for the future. And so how can we do that and how can we help our even more lazy coaches figure out the answer without trying to do any work themselves? I'm playing with you, Bill, but I kind of speak to myself. They're like, I don't want to think too much. I just give me the dang answer,
Yeah. I've tried to, I totally get it. I come from a software background, and it was always, read the effing manual. I mean, there's stuff out there that your questions answered if you look on page 1. And so I've tried to bring that to this. So
Bill, I'm
more of a flat.
Hey, Bill, can I add something here for you, though?
Sure.
Yeah, one of the things, so you mentioned, you've only got an hour, like X amount of time, right? Because you need 15 minutes to close. That's why you said, look, I really got to rip through this in 30 minutes because I need some time to close, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so you really should be booking, and 45 minutes is just like stupidly impactful, but I'd be booking 90-minute calls, to be clear.
Would you?
Okay, so yeah, rather than just 45 minutes, the more time that you have to build rapport and strengthen the relationship. So an hour and a half is what I'd be scheduling, but you say, well, look, the way you do that is like, I'm going to find you $100,000 in 45 minutes without you spending $1 on marketing or advertising. But I'll tell you this, I've done this, between my colleagues and I, we've done this countless times because you're new, right? You just say that.
Yep.
What I'd prefer to do, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to book 90, like I'm a pretty busy guy, but I'm going to book 90 minutes with you because I know that as we go through the process, there's going to be some toing and froing and you're definitely going to have some questions. and I don't want to be leaving you hanging. So look, let's book 90 minutes on your calendar. Is that good? They say yes.
Yeah.
Boom, now you got 90 minutes. Okay.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Sounds good.
Two
Yeah.
bananas.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There we go.
There you
Good
go.
job. Great question.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Pat, anything here before we close them off? Oh, good.
Well, it leads me to that wise saying. And I'm just kind of in a weird mood tonight, sorry, but it leads me to that wise saying. You give a man a fish, you feed him for a day.
Yeah.
And you know how it goes. But there's two problems with that. People don't want to learn how to fish. They want the fish served up on a plate, little spices on it, and they're ready to eat. Pork.
Yeah.
No.
And the napkin tucked in like
Exactly.
down into their
Now,
shirt, right?
So the second thing is, if you teach a man to fish, you ruin the opportunity to sell him a fish every day for the rest of his life.
I love it.
Thinking like a marketer. So
I know. I love it. There you go. Bill, does that
All right.
help?
Yep. I'm good. Thank you.
Beauty. Awesome.
All right.
Okay, great job. Okay, let's try Brian one more time. Brian
Hey.
and Bell's Beat. There he is. Hey,
There we
what was
go.
going on before? How you doing?
I don't know. I think operator error.
Operator happens. All good. What's happening at Bell's Beach today?
Pretty freezy. There's not quite ice on the water, but certainly the speedos aren't getting a workout.
No. A little too cold for the Speedos?
Just a tad. Now, I sent you guys an email. I did a PAS yesterday. We managed to find the revenue we wanted, but the profit number seemed way out of kilter.
too high.
Yeah, way too high. And it seems that with a service-based industry, which this one is, IT managed services, all of their costs is sitting in overhead in the labour area. And I'm just wondering how we can reflect that. Now, we obviously 45 minutes or 50 minutes, we didn't get anywhere near finishing the all of the 12 categories on a Jumpstart 12.
Sure.
So the question is, how would we discuss that largest jump in profit, because we haven't got into that area of costs, how to account for the people cost in service-based industries, and how to handle a negative or break-even situation within profit acceleration. The company in question, he said, look, we're either in a negative or break-even point of view, which
So
is
let me
sitting at 4 million revenue.
Let me tackle the second one first. One of the things in our long to-do list is to make the software work correctly if if a client has a negative net profit margin. It currently doesn't do that. And I think that's what you said you did well. You put a 1% in there.
Yes.
And maybe it's a 0 or something, but that's the correct way to do it in the software right now. So once we can free up William to figure that out, I don't know when it's going to be, but we've worked it out in the background. He just has to implement it. So if you put in a negative 5%, someone's got $1 million a year, but $1 million revenue, but they're losing 50 grand a year, it's negative 5%. We'll get that implemented in there. But for the meantime, just put in 1%. And I guess you just have to explain it saying, hey, look, software doesn't recognize a negative net profit margin. Let's put in 1% just so we get some numbers that are indicative of the growth that's possible here. Does that sound fair? And of course they'll go, yeah, that sounds fair.
No, I must have been listening to all your training, because that's pretty much what I did.
Good. Well, I've just kind of repeated the same thing over and over again. So thank you for listening. Obviously not one of my children.
You have that problem too.
Yeah, don't we all? So, oh my gosh, this could go down so many wrong paths right there. The other question you had was, I'm looking at, could the profit margin or could the profits be overcooked a little bit? Because what they have to do is they actually have to add staff.
Yeah.
And I think Yeah, that could be something that you address up front, and you could just say, look, I think these, like we've tried to be conservative all the way through. We found an additional $3.5 million, whatever it was, in revenue, and 85% of which is your gross profit. Now, in reality, you're going to have to hire some staff to do this, so it's not actually going to be as much, but you can still see it's quite a significant impact in your bottom line profits. I would just go there and then just keep going. I wouldn't stop and try and figure it out. I don't think that's the purpose at this point of what it's actually going to be.
Yeah, it caught me on the hop a little bit. So I must admit I glossed over it, but I've sort of worked out a way I can possibly build it in an understandable way for him.
Yeah, but may I, Brian? Just I want to understand. Like, do they see, like, they have a $4 million company and basically no profits? That's it in a nutshell, correct?
Pretty much. Profits vanity.
Like the opportunity to go in there and make a serious dent very, very quickly. That's, the opportunity is incredible. And not so much for you, Brian, you're in accounting, got lots of experience with this stuff, for anybody listening. But so if you guys watch the show, The Profit, which I recommend, Marcus Lemonis, I love the guy. It's one of those, business shows, probably already watching it, but I would encourage you to watch those. And as an example, Marcus Lemonis would sign these guys up for the show all day long because they've got $4 million of revenue. They just don't know how to run the business properly. And that's why they've got no profit, which is just wild. But some subtle little tweaks, and look at Pat's screen right now.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised when they said break even.
Yeah, that's but I'd like to say it's totally rare, and that's weird. I'm surprised, but it's crazy. They're making the mistake. We talk about it all the time. Do you want to get big or do you want to get rich? Right? And it's big and rich, big and profitable are not the same thing. And by the way, even profitable is not so good because these guys could, again, profit is theory and then cash is fact if we go one step further, right? Like, if anybody's not following what I'm talking about, when you have, like, they sell a bunch of widgets and then they send out all their invoices, right? Which land in accounts receivable, and they're expecting to get paid in 30 days. And then X amount of people don't actually pay. So it appears to be super profitable. But because these guys obviously have slim margins, when a few folks don't pay them, they get socked straight in the mouth. And now all of a sudden they're not a profitable business at all. But it appears to be so because this accounts receivable lives on the asset side of their balance sheet. And it looks like all this money is going to be flowing in soon. So there's a huge opportunity to go in and help these guys, with some very subtle tweaks to get exciting. Anyways, and then I went off on a tangent there with The Profit. If you watch The Profit, this is the kind of company that he goes into for this exact reason, because he knows it's going to be so easy to take them from the red to the black. And there's just some minor fundamentals they're messing up. But the secret is, so think of 80-20. You go, okay, so we got to be thinking mental model. Pat and I were talking about this at length yesterday, right? Mental model, 80-20, 80-20, 80-20. But now when you go deeper, and Brian, with a client like this, when you go if you go 80-20 4 times, you end up at 1% is 50, right? So there's 80-20, and then you go inside the 20 and do an 80-20. And then go inside that 20 and do an 80-20, and then inside that 20 and do another 80-20, 1% of the business represents 50%. So like 1% of your clients represent 50% of your revenues, as an example, right? So 1%. So anyways, that sounds great. And everybody no doubt follows that. The X factor for Brian and for Marcus Lemonis and for you guys, when you get a client like this, is to go and know, like, what's the 1%? Because it's probably not going to be staring straight at you. It's going to take a little bit of time and, frankly, a whole lot of questioning to work out where that opportunity is. So anyways, Brian, exciting times, man. You're going to be able to ship these guys big time if they let you in there.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
And And Pat, can I just add, would you expand upon anything I just said or agree with that
No,
or
that's good.
add anything?
Very good. Yep, that's it.
Cool
Good.
beans. All right. Let's, okay, Brian, take care of yourself there, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
No worries. All right, so we need a question here, guys. And in the meantime, I'm going to go scooting down. Who are we going to go chat to? Let's go to, oh, here we go. Lori has a question for us. Lori McNaughton. Lori, you are self-muted. Actually, this is,
There we go.
Lori, there he is. Lori, you're live.
Cool. I got well, it's not a stupid question, but it's a simple question.
Yeah, fire away.
Where in the resources do I find that 12-minute video about the PAS system that I can like put into an email?
Well, there's a couple videos in here, and so we're going to go into resources. You'll go to software marketing assets, click on that.
Software marketing assets.
Now there's a 12-minute promo video, and if that's the one you're looking at, what you'll do is you'll go to your own site, and at the extension of your site, it should be a /promo,
Oh, okay.
and that's where you find it.
There's
That's
two
the video.
/prep and /promo. There's two of them.
Yeah, there's one is there's a digital promo. That's our main one. The prep video is not in here. I'm just wondering, hang on. Don't know why we don't have the prep video listed.
Oop.
So what's the name of your website?
The academy or the coaching site?
Academy.
Which one would it? The academy?
Academy.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
it's Turn a Profit Quick. What is it? Business Academy? Sorry. Turn a Profit Quick businessacademy.com.
Look at that.
And there you
Should
go.
have been a
There's
secretary, Pat, the way you pump
I
out
know.
those.
I actually
typing
tried to
skills.
do one once, and my skirt was too long. They wouldn't hire me. So you
There we
got promo right there, and that'll load up here. And then
Cool.
the other one is the prep video.
Prep.
That's when you're ready to meet or when you've got someone you want to prepare them to meet you, send them this video.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen.
You're
help?
welcome.
Okay, Lori, good stuff. Put you back on mute. There we go. Who are we going to open up here? Let's open up Catherine. Catherine Halpin. Catherine, we're coming for you. You are self-muted. Gotta unmute yourself if you're going to say hi. Catherine, calling Catherine. Okay, Catherine's not there, but that's okay. We're going to go up. David Sheldon. Here's a guy I haven't spoken to in a while. David Sheldon, you're self-muted. Oh, looks like he just went on unalert. Hang on, David Sheldon, you there?
They see you coming for him, Carl, and they walk away.
Yeah, I know.
They change the screen. They say, "Oh, yeah, we know.
That's
We know.
exactly.
Paying attention here."
I think that's what happened. Okay, well, oh, there we go. David Sheldon.
Can you hear me now?
You're live. Can now.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Hey, just working away, having fun, enjoying. Haven't been on here for a while, so I just wanted to catch up and see what was new and any new questions that were asked. Wanted to hear what the answers were, so just had an hour that I wanted to sit and listen to what you guys are saying.
Oh,
Cool.
nice.
So you got lots of coaches listening here. Give us the good word. Inspire us with your everything you got cooking.
Give us a good word. The only thing I was thinking when Bill was on there, he asked the question. He wanted specific things to help a vertical with. I never use the same vertical. Always use someone else. Like, for example, if you're talking to a hairdresser, talk about a bicycle company or talk about a car company to give them an example. Because what you want to do, Bill, is you want to be able to get them thinking.
Yeah.
By giving them examples.
100%. I hope everybody takes that away. David, I'm So perfect. So important. The reason, David, was it fair to say the reason is that you've got these paradigms? So like you work with HVAC companies, correct?
Correct.
Predominantly.
Yes.
So when you like, if you're look, here's what happens. They're a hairdresser, and then mom was probably a hairdresser. Their teachers at school were hairdressers. Their mentor is a hairdresser, and then when they go have drinks after work on Friday, they're with a bunch of hairdressers. So they just play this follow the leader, and they just feel like they're completely immersed in it, and they just get it, right? Well, so when you go to them and say, well, no, as a hairdresser, you should do X, Y, Z, because they've got this, you know what I mean? They're just going immediately back to, oh no, I heard of somebody trying that. No, see, that doesn't work in my business. So that will never work with my clients, right? So instead of butting up against their paradigm, like you said, they're a hairdresser, you use something totally different, a chiropractor, HVAC, a dentist, a doctor, whatever, and you will get significantly further. So yes, David, thank you for pointing that out. Absolutely critical. And that would be a boo-boo. If you're sitting with a chiropractor and you just talk about chiropractors, you're going to have a tough time. So there you go.
Yeah, and I always use that in the market dominating position corner, because what you're trying to do is to get them to think differently than they were before. And by giving examples of other companies that thought differently, all of a sudden they go, geez, there must be something I can do that's different.
Yeah, I love it. So maybe I might just again, and how you'd frame that up, guys. So let's just say you use a daycare as an example. You say, as an example, if you take 100 daycares and you say, what's the number one problem that you have? They'll always say price or location. When in actuality, the real hot button of mom dropping off her kids and then going to work is accountability, right? But you wouldn't know that unless you looked a little bit deeper and asked some, intelligent questions. So with accountability being the number one hot button for mom, imagine this. You owned a daycare, I owned a daycare. We're 10 minutes down the road from one another. Your daycare has a web watch where the parents could log on the internet, watch the kids, make sure they're safe, having fun. And then at the other daycare, there was no web watch. Where would you personally take your kids? To the daycare with the web watch or the one without? 98% of the time, they say, oh, well, the daycare with the web watch automatically. You say, exactly. So what we're going to do is we're working together. What we're going to do is we're going to uncover exactly what the equivalent of the daycare, of the web watch is for the daycare for you. And then I continue with my line of, now I stop and I don't continue, right? We definitely don't sit there and brainstorm what their market dominating position should be. You just continue on, because curiosity is part of the sales process. And they're wondering, what the hell would the equivalent of that be for me? That's amazing, right? Imagine if I came up with that. So that's the example, guys. And again, use a canned example. So like you could use the daycare example 100 times in a row, right? That they've never heard it before. And the more you say it, the better you're going to get, the more impactful it will be. And like I said, 98% of the time they go, oh yeah, well, absolutely. Right. Or do you want fries with that? As an example, if you were a lawyer, we would say, do you want a will with that? And they go, oh my God, that's so clever. Say, perfect. Well, we're going to come up with the equivalent of that for you. Let's keep moving. We got to get out of here. So, David, you agree with that? Is that the way you do it? Or do you do it differently?
No, that's exactly how I do it. I mean, it's just using a system that I've already talked about and someone's been successful with it, but it's not the same industry. And so you talk about like I use HVAC. If I'm working with someone else, I use HVAC because I've created lots of dominating positions in the HVAC industry. But when they hear it, they go, oh, well, maybe there's something I could do along that line. And then they start thinking, and then they turn to their partner or their wife or whatever and say, well, how could we do this differently? It's just getting to think, right? That's all it is.
Brilliant.
Yeah, love it. Great to stay, David. Thank you so much for bringing that up. That's absolutely critical. So, Bill, hopefully you took that. But for everybody listening, that's a critical one. There we go. Anything else, David? Doing good so far?
No, I'm just excited. I've been invited in by a couple of acquisition and merger guys that want to work with me. That's kind of really exciting. Both of these companies buy and sell in the construction world, meaning HVAC businesses and plumbing businesses. And of course, one of their stumbling blocks is they get a guy that thinks his business is worth 40 million and it's actually worth 4 million, but he doesn't want to throw them away. But maybe they're thinking maybe I could help them build that business to where it might be worth a little more than the 4 million. Maybe it's worth 10 million, but certainly not worth the 4 million. But a guy like me can work with them to kind of get them to understand why it's not worth 40 million. So that's exciting, and I've been invited to do that, and I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. There we go. You're a talented dude. Love it.
Well, but just having fun.
Yep. How long have you been with us now? You've been with us a long time, been years, right?
Oh, Carl, I don't know. It's got to be 8, 9 years, maybe, something like that.
Oh, well. There we go. I love it. All right. Are you coming to Cancun?
No, can't come.
Come on. Oh, come on. Come on. I'm going to lean on you. Anyway, oh, good. Okay, David, I'm going to put you back on mute, bud.
Thank you.
Righty. Where are we going to go next here? Let's go Leighton Williams. Leighton Williams, we're coming for you. You are self-muted. You want to say hello? There we go. Leighton, you're live.
Hello. This is my first Q&A, so I'm just lurking in the background, taking it all in.
See, that doesn't work very well around here. They just lurk. Next thing you know, you're going to be open. So we're going to press you for a question. What's your question?
Oh, wow. I've literally been around 3 days. So
really?
Let me flim flam while I think of a question. Actually, there was something that made a lot of sense to me earlier on. And it's more of a statement, I guess, than a question itself. But when you're going into businesses in a particular vertical, you go in with comparisons in different verticals because it prompts people to look outside their own space. And prior to this call, I'd not thought of that, and now that I've heard it, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Not only, so agreed totally, but not only will it get them thinking at a higher level, but again, the atomic bomb is often in a different industry, right? Like realtors just play follow the leader. Hair salons just play follow the leader. Have a look at the industry. You'll see it right there, right? So when you go into a different, when you go into a different niche and you bring another market dominating position into it, this is where the atomic bomb can be, the big one.
Yeah.
So,
You're totally right. And it was an eye opener for me because I own a real estate business. I live in Canada,
there you go.
but my business is in the UK. So, and you're absolutely right. Every real estate business just looks at what the next door neighbor does and does the same thing, maybe with a different color.
Yep. That's it. Follow the leader. Whereabouts in Canada are you, by the way?
Calgary.
Are you? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I grew up in Cochrane. There you go.
Oh, nice. Just up the road.
I went to school in Cochrane from grade 1 to grade 12. And like Cochrane's a pretty cool place to be from now. But I got to tell you, when I grew up, it was very lame. It was like 5,000 people. And it was pretty much everybody's chewing tobacco and blah, blah, blah. But anyway.
Right now with COVID, all of Alberta is lame.
It's what, lame?
Lame. Yeah. I mean, everything's closed, nowhere to go, nothing to do. So other than hang out on Zoom calls.
Yeah. Here we are. All right, Leighton. Awesome to have you on board, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
No.
Hey, Carl.
Yes.
You can see my screen.
Can. Yep.
I'm going to open up here corporate brochures. These are under software marketing assets under resources. And let's see here. We have these things. When you look at a brochure, it looks like a 8-page or 12-page brochure. It kind of looks all over the place. And you don't know which page matches up with which page or whatever. And so what we just did is we created these flip books. I don't know if you've seen these yet, Carl. Actually, my son just created these a couple of days ago, and we just load them up. So you click on that, it opens up a little bit, and waiting for that to load. And Here we go.
Just click here to, oh, there we go. No, you're good.
So now we know, now we can see, some reason my internet's slow here, but now you can see, just play the button. You'll see what these things look like, how they're laid out. They're not perfect, but gives you a really good idea of what you're going to get if you order these corporate brochures. So, yeah, so there's just 7 slides there. It's 12 pages, I think.
Excuse me. Cool.
Yeah, so when you order, we've got these ready for you. When you order them, you can order them in an A4 size or a 8.5 by 11 size, depending on what region of the world you're in. They're all ready to go. So I just remember that, wanted to show that to you.
Awesome. All brand new there, folks. Where is that resources, software marketing assets?
So down the left side, you see resources, and then you'll see it under software marketing assets. And just click on that.
Cool.
So,
all right, let's go to Portia's got a question. You are self-muted. She's got her hand up. There you go. Portia, you're live.
Hi.
Hello.
You get insulted if I call you Ferrari? Is that like upsetting to a Porsche?
Very.
What about Lamborghini? What about Lamborghini? Can I call you Lamborghini?
How about Aston Martin?
Ooh, James Bond. Now we're talking. Woman, my own
See?
heart. There we go. Yeah. Stylish. You got class.
Yes.
What's happening, Portia?
Quick question on the software. I was doing a PAS the other day for a nurse practitioner. Is there a separate category to put medical people in, or do doctors, chiropractors, nurse practitioners, and everybody fall under the healthcare support?
Oh, the industry?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar enough with the industry to know what the profit margins are. And so we're looking under financials. What industry are you in? Let's have a look here. Healthcare support services. Not sure what they are actually even in there. So
Yeah.
if I wonder, oh, here, industry average 3% and 15.
But that could be different with a doctor or a dentist versus a chiropractor, right?
Exactly.
So
for a nurse practitioner, I'd say you have to do your research on Google and say what's the, just Google net profit margin for nurse practitioner, gross profit margin, and then just enter them manually here.
And so that would apply whether it was a dentist or a chiropractor also, or anyone in the medical.
I think to be safe, that would be the way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Unfortunately, the list is incomplete. It's well over 100 industries, I believe. It was the best list we could find for net and gross profit margins. But when it comes down to it, people are like, well, where's business consultant? Like, we don't have that one, and things like that, right? So at some point, I think we could make it more intelligent, but that's a future project for us. So that's why we included, okay, we don't really know what it is. Let's do the research. In reality, the margins might be different in different regions of the world as well. So our folks in Australia, they might see a different profit margin than those in Canada or the US or the UK or Africa or whatever. So just safer to use.
And I just wanted to, it just makes sense to do, like, this again is to be used as a guide and not be, what I mean? You don't be using that verbatim. So yeah, Portia, and Pat, you bring up a really good point, like different parts of the world will also, change these things a little bit. So this is a guide and it's a pretty darn good one, but that being said, do some homework and just make sure you got it right or close. And once again, we're not curing cancer here. Like, it needs to be close. These are approximates, right? So you shall be fine. There you go. Portia, does that help? Anything else for us?
No, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's only one place in the software you're going to see this. If you go to cut costs, and let me go back to financials. So let me put in other, and I'll put in, let me see here if I can change this now. Maybe I can't change it now. I think that's a glitch we've got to fix as well, because there's 9 and 88. So let's say that's the average is 9 and 88. Let's say I have 7 and I'll put 50 and I'll submit that. So now under cut costs, the only place you're going to see it is right here. The industry average is 88% and 9%. Now, if you could improve your gross profit margin to the industry average, you'd improve your gross profits by this much. It's a little bit of intelligent script there, and then we scroll down. We'll do the same for net profits. Now, if your client's industry averages are above if your client's averages are above the industry average, these two lines won't appear. So that's the only place you're really going to see this in the software. It's kind of a cool little thing to compare. But if your client's already operating above the industry average, we're not going to highlight that fact. We'll just we'll just go with it. So
beautiful.
Good?
There we go. You bet. Okay, guys. So any more? Oh, here we go. Jeremy's got a question. Oh, there we go. Jeremy just actually. Let me open you up, Jeremy. You can share that for us. There he is. Jeremy, you're live. Hey.
Hey, how are you guys?
Fabulous.
Good.
What's going on?
Awesome. Not much. Just here in Eugene, Oregon here on a little bit of a vacation, but I was hearing, what her question was about the profit margin by industry. So I just wanted to share a link with everybody so they can actually have that as an example if they're, for example, in the construction
Great.
niche or, things like that. So that's about it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, you're welcome.
I'll share that. That's good job. I'll send that over to you guys and to all. Here we go, folks. Look in the chat box there. Courtesy of Jeremy, not us. There we go. Okay, guys. Well, there you go. So, Pat, anything else we want to go over? If anybody's got a question, check your hand up or plunk it in the box.
I think, Brian had another question, maybe.
Oh, does he? Oh, Speedo Brian. You might become Speedo Brian if all goes horribly for you.
Yes,
Your nickname,
I was trying to
What's
think
going
of
on,
something
Brian?
snappy
Did you have another
like
question?
Road Dogg would have, but my Tom
Yeah.
Brady impersonations aren't good. I
You
just
get another
did
question?
I got into the past summary and I put in a negative 27% in cut costs in the overhead section. It calculated it correctly, but doesn't show a negative on the results screen or reflect that in the new annual profit.
Oh, what percent would you reduce your COGS?
So instead of reducing it by 27%, I put it in as a negative, which means that the COGS would increase.
No, we only use a
actually,
negative number. Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't like negatives. Yeah, so I can't increase.
What percent could you reduce it? Yeah, you would reduce your cost of goods sold by 2.5%, not by negative 2.5. So
Yeah. So
just keep it positive there.
It was in question 4. By what percent could you reduce your overhead? I put in minus 27, and it calculated it correctly as a negative 907,000, but didn't reflect in 5-year profit impact or new annual profit impact.
Well, if I put mine in here, what percent could you reduce your overhead? And I put negative 2.5. I'm going to have a corresponding revenue impact of negative 10,000. So if you see that on the left here, so I just use use positive numbers and you'll be safe there.
Awesome. That help, Brian?
I'll work on it.
Okay. The accountant's going to work. We love it. All right, Brian. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you, bud.
Cheers.
Put you back on mute. There we go. Kenya, Pat, any parting words for our folks here before we let them go?
No, I think, well, if you're brand new, and even if you're not new, go and practice. Just get in and enjoy the software. Don't be afraid of it. Just keep exploring and go through the questions and imagine yourself finding breakthroughs for people left and right and have fun with it. So
Awesome. Agreed. Pat's always telling you guys that. Just get in there and play with it. This is how you're going to get good at it. Practice. And before we go, we got a huge monster testimonial for Holly just earlier today. If anybody wants, can you just open up the link, please, Pat?
Yeah.
Guys, if you haven't done, so what we have on offer, if you guys want, Holly basically does role plays. Okay, so basically you book in with her. It costs $197, so it's outside the scope of your normal training. But if we go by what everybody says, it's just pure magic. And the testimonial we got just earlier was bloody impressive one. So if you guys want to do this, and there is absolutely no obligation whatsoever, clearly, but I got to tell you, for $197, this will be the best money you spent in a while as far as your business coaching and consulting career. So just go here, no results - no fee, right? Like our domain name / role play. You just book yourself in, and Holly will look after you, or Wally does them as well for us. But the bottom line is you should get yourself booked in, guys. So if you haven't done that, I want to recommend highly that you do. So there we go. That's all I got for today. And of course, folks, we appreciate you showing up. We appreciate you guys playing full out. And what day is it? It's Thursday today, so we'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. So thanks so much for being here.
All right, bye-bye.
Toodaloo, folks.
See ya.